Before I do that, let me talk about some ways of chopping with a blade that you want to avoid. And I've experienced all of these, and I've gotten really close to making a critical mistake. So when we chop in class, we don't want to put something right between our legs or even in front. Because what can happen is, this is called the triangle of death. You've got the femoral artery. You catch that, such a large artery, you'll probably bleed out before we can get it to stop. So if you are chopping, you want to put it off here to the side, and you want to angle it away so that you don't run a risk. I've got a scar right there, and that's by getting dehydrated and not having anything to eat, and I started to chop, and it deflected off of that and hit. If you notice how close that was to that artery, I almost messed up. So I'm pretty vascular. You can see that artery goes right there. I hit just right there. So you got to be real careful when you're chopping. So make sure when you have your knife, when you're carving, that you're carving away from yourself. If you make the mistake of coming in here, you can slip. You can cut through whatever you're cutting through, and then you get yourself. That right there is doing exactly what I'm telling you not to do, right? So you see how long that is. So I'm one of those people where I just have to make the mistake to learn it. And I know that I'm doing something wrong. You see how dirty this blade is? You shouldn't dig with your blade. This is my blade. Zach done the same thing to him.
Never give him a knife.
And this is a carbon steel blade. And so if you have chert, it'll knock a little piece of that carbon steel off, and you can use that to make fire. So I have the carbon steel one. I think Zach's got a carbon steel, but he also has a stainless steel. Stainless steel won't do that. So it's an advantage, but the disadvantage of having carbon steel is that it's not as tough and it rusts. So more prone to corrosion and more prone to damage. In fact, you're damaging it when you hit it with that chert. It's shaving off a little piece of that carbon. It's not the chert. It's the carbon that's coming off. And then that could go into any sort of tinder or char cloth, whatever you've got made. All right, so a little bit about carving. Always carve away from yourself. We are going to make spindles and stuff. And so when you're chopping on these fireboards, let's pretend I've got a piece of yucca here and I'm carving on a fireboard to cut my notch into it. That yucca is real easy to cut through, and you can cut all the way through and get your finger. It's best to put it on the ground when you make your notch, or put it on top of something, but not to have your finger on the other side, because if it goes through, it gets you.